Hey, cutie pies. I'm Lanikia. I just finna watch the Days of Our Lives. Y'all not finna play with me. I was all emotional, like, even though I knew it was gonna happen, because I need to start watching spoilers. But I knew it was gonna happen. But I'm like, I can't even rate this on a scale of 1 to 10. I don't even know what to rate this at this point. Because quiet as kept, it was a solid 9 when Trip was dying. But they brought him back to life. It was just so stupid. It's so stupid. That's so. All right, this is May the 17th, 2022, a Tuesday. This is what happened on the soaps Days of Our Lives edition. All right, I don't even know where to start on this. Let's talk about Kate. So Kate is on the phone trying to get Lucas to come back home because she know he done did something to Sam. I don't want this type of love. Like, don't give me that type of love. Like, I'm not that great. So anyway, she said, if you don't come home or you don't call me back, I am telling Roman. Roman said, tell me what? And he said, it must be bad if you sitting here doing the tables and all that because you don't want to tell me. And so she was about to tell him, and then Lucas came through the door, and he come through the door with this story about, oh, we were skiing and Sammy broke her leg and all that. Like, what? Sir, you telling me they don't have reception in the hospital? You couldn't use a hospital phone to call her mama, call her daddy, call somebody and tell them, Lucas, I'm not about to play with you. What you did with Sammy? What have you done with Sammy? His own mama then she said, now Lucas, I don't believe this story. But anyways, when they was really finna get into him about everything, they found, they told him talk about Trip and Allie and everything, and he like, I need to go. Because Eric comes in and he talks about, how Trip fell, and Allie's at home with Marlene and on them, and he's like, I got to go. I got to check on Allie. And so he get over there to Allie. Okay, so they were at St. Luke's, and they tell Allie said, I heard Trip. Where's Trip? And they said, come on, Allie, you just gotta get some rest. So they convinced her to go home and get some rest. So she go home, she talk to Henry, she take a bath, she feel good, she a little tired, but she like, I need y'all to tell me what happened. So they tell her what happened and everything. Finally, because they didn't want to tell her at first, but she was like, I'm strong, you can tell me. And so they tell her. And then she was like, oh my God, if anything happens to Trip, it would be my fault. Then Lucas comes in. She hugging all on Lucas because she ain't seen him. And so they're like, Marlena and Johnny know that Trip has died because they got the phone call that Trip died. Um, so then they're like, oh my God, Trip is dead. And so, but they don't want to tell Allie. So they're about to tell Allie about Trip, and we're gonna pause them right there. And so then we go through and we see that, okay, so Trip has fallen. I'm sorry, that was moving all over the place today. So I'm trying to piece this together to get to the ending. So then we see that Trip was they replayed the whole thing with Trip about him falling out, jumping out of the window because he didn't want the devil to hurt Allie, and he knew there was only one way to get rid of the devil. So he commits suicide essentially, and the devil flees from his body, but that leaves Trip very badly damaged. And so they rush him to the hospital and everything. And when they rush him to the hospital, we're gonna pause right there. Cause then they rush Trip to the hospital. So then John, some kind of way he made it to the hospital. What the heck? So some kind of way he made it to, I guess they trying to say later on, he made it to the hospital. He told Kayla and Steve, he said, Trip is here. Now, Kayla got the message that they was bringing somebody in for Eli, but for some reason when it came to Trip, she didn't get this message. But anyways, so John says Trip is here. It's not looking good. So Kayla, she said, let me go to the ER, and check on it. And then Steve was like, I'm finna go too. And she said, no, you need to call Ava. Now Ava outside eating with Johnny and everything, talking about it's cold out here. He said it's May and it's cold. And she was like, yeah, it's cold out here or whatever. And she was like, I'm in a bad mood. He was like, because you saw Sierra. And he was like, if Sierra hadn't come, she said maybe I would be in a better mood. So they just admit because she was like, I can't believe you working back with Sierra and the Mirror and all that. And she was like, I deserve to be a part of that company too. That's my inheritance and everything too. And she was like, whatever. So then he said, so they both agreed that, she was like, yeah, you supposed to have that platonic friendship with Sierra. Like I felt like with Gabby. Like, did I say Sierra? I'm sorry, y'all, Gabby. You're supposed to have that platonic friendship with Gabby. Like our friendship or whatever. And if Gabby hadn't come, she was like, I probably would be in a better mood. So they was like, okay, let's go on, go to the, go to the house. I said, what y'all finna do? I knew y'all wasn't gonna last long. But he said, she was like, okay, let's go to the house then. And so when she was getting ready to go, she said, this is Steve calling me. So Steve tells her, get down to the hospital. Trip has been in an accident, it's not good. And so she was like, I gotta go to Trip. So she makes it to the hospital or whatever, and John is there, and he tells her, mama. John is there, and he tells her, go, Trip, go see Trip. Go, he's in the trauma or whatever. So she races down there, and there Kayla is working on Trip. I'm saying, well, wait a minute, who was working on Trip before Kayla got there? Y'all just be leaving so many holes in stories. It just doesn't make sense. But okay, I'm gonna roll with you. So Kayla said, I'm working on him now, and I said, okay. So she trying to work on him. She does a thing and she presses on him and he jumps up but he flatlines. And she said, Kayla turned around and said, I'm sorry. And Steve started bawling and she was like, why you saying? And Ava was like, why you saying sorry? Do it again. It's not funny. She said, do it again. And Kayla was like, there's nothing I could do. He's gone. And she said, no. No, he's not. Do it again, Kayla. Save him. And she said, I can't. It's too late. We lost him. And so Ava started going off on Kayla like you did it on purpose. You didn't try to save him. You happy now? You didn't want Steve and I to have a child together. She just lashing out in emotion. And Steve grabs her and he says, stop this. Stop this. Because Kayla got tears all down her eyes like this. She didn't want this. He said, stop this. You can't do that. And so Kayla's like, I'm gonna leave y'all, to it. So her team leaves out, and it's just Ava and Kayla, Ava, Ayla, Ava, Steve, and Trip in the room, and they just devastated. I said, man, Steve is crying. Steve was crying. He was heartbroken. So was Ava. They were just heartbroken over him or whatever. So then, so then we see that Bo is with Sierra. And so as Bo is with Sierra, um, it's the same thing they did yesterday where she tell him I named the baby Bo and she was like, I felt your presence. He was like, yeah, that's me. And she said, I'm so glad you got, and so he tells Ben, whatever you're thinking, don't have no worries. You're gonna be a good dad or whatever. Y'all gonna be a good family, y'all gonna be a happy family and whatnot. And then they said, she said, the devil wants our baby and he's still out there. He said, no, the devil's gone. She said, how do you know that, Dad? He said, because somebody sacrificed, a good man sacrificed. And they said, what? And so he said, I gotta go. And she was like, so he ends up leaving and she tells Ben, I'm so happy you got to meet my dad. I always wanted you to meet my dad. And and then that's when Jake come in and Jake is like, oh, I thought this was gonna be good news. And they was like, no, it is good. We're just happy or whatever, and they tell him about Bo, and he tells them about Trip. He was like, Trip sacrificed his life, but he's not. He's in bad condition or whatever. He's in the hospital, and so he tells them, I'm so happy to see little Bo and everything, but I'm about to go. I need to check on Ava, and so then Sierra and Ben, no ma'am, Sierra and Ben talk, and they're like, um they hope that know that everything's okay with Trip, and that was the sacrifice her dad was talking about, and that's it with them, y'all. That's it with them. And so then we go to where do we go? So then we go and we see that they're back in the emergency room, and it's Kayla and excuse me, not Kayla, but it's Ava and Steve, and Ava has gotten, she got on the bed with Trip because she was talking to Steve at first, and she said, I didn't deserve him. He was such a good, boy, and I didn't deserve him, and I missed so many years with him. And then she said he didn't deserve a mother like me. He deserved better. And Steve told her, Kayla, Ava, you can't think like that. You just got to cherish the times you did have with him or whatever. And he loved you. And so Ava just broke down on the bed. She lied beside him. She was like, my sweet boy, he gone. And Steve, he trying to be strong for Ava, cause but he breaking down too. And so then Jake comes out of seeing Benny Sierra, and Kayla has already came out, and she told John he didn't make it. So John and told Marlene and them that he didn't make it, and everybody know he didn't make it. And so then he tells Jake he didn't make it because John and Ava are friends. And so then Jake is like, I gotta go check on Ava. And they's like, she's still in the trauma room unit with him. So he goes or whatever, and he opens the door, and Steve tells him come on in because he needs some help dealing with Ava because she is not taking this well, of course. And so Ava is he goes to Ava, and she says he's gone, my baby's gone. And I was like, man, because y'all know I love me some Ava. Something gotta be wrong with me because I be liking all. I like Ava, I like Gwen. Like, what is wrong? I like Leo. Like, what's wrong with me? But anyways, she was like, he's gone. Like, she was talking to Jake, and he was like, I know. And he was just holding her, and she held on to Trip. And then he told her, Ava, let me take you home. And she was like, okay. So she got up and she put the cover over Trip like one last time, you know what I mean? And Steve just told her, I'm sorry. And I did like the fact that when Steve was talking to Ava, Jake backed back because he was like, I'm going to get it. That this the parents. I'm going to give them their place, their moment to be together and mourn for a second. And so then he gathered Ava up again, and he walked out, he left. And before he left, you could see Steve had got beside Trip, and Ava and Jake looked back, and Steve was just breaking down. He was like, oh my boy, look girl. He was like, oh my boy is gone. My boy is gone. Why? You know, and Kayla came, me, Ava and them go ahead and leave, and Kayla comes in, and he breaking down in Kayla's arms. Yeah, it was just real emotional and sad. And I said, dang, if they really, I think, like, listen, I like the Trip character, I do, but I think they missed the ball on this one, like, because they have brought everybody was so sad. Like, you remember when on One Lot to Live when Megan died, and she died in, what was his name? Was his name Jake? She died in Jake's arms. What's his name? Jake. Anyway, like it was giving that, well, not that sad, but it was giving a moment like where you was just, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sad, you know. And so then Ava goes outside, and um John is there, and John is just like, Ava, you just didn't even know what to say to her. He was like, Ava, I'm sorry or whatever. And he was like, it's not much, but if you need anything, just let me know or whatever. And so she about to get on the elevator. Now back in the room, Steve is like, why, why my boy? And then all of a sudden, you're not gonna play with me. Both shows, all right. I'm sorry. And Bo touches tripping. I said, it's Bo Jesus. You're not gonna play with me. Baby, I hollered. I said, what is this? What is going on? My tears was falling. I said, whoop. Them tears dried right on up. I said, y'all not gonna play with me on this. Ooh, days of our lives. Y'all ruined the moment. All right. So then Steve, he run out and get Ava and tell her, Ava, there's something I gotta tell you, because she was finna get on the elevator and go home and just mourn. And so then we see John ran home, and he with Lucas, Allie, and Johnny, and because they finna tell her that Trip died, and he said Trip is alive. Kayla said she think he gonna make it. But before that, when Bo came and touched Trip. Um, Steve looked up and Bo was there. He saw Bo, so he know Bo is the reason he's alive or whatever. And so then, um, I don't even remember what happened. I was so discombobulated after that. I said, I'm done. Y'all not gonna play with me no more. And so then we see Trip, and Trip gonna wake up. He talking about Allie. All these people that mourned you, boy. You think about Allie. Allie is at home with her baby. Oh, child. But Allie was, she gonna be happy she alive because she said she didn't get to tell Trip how she really felt and when she loved him. I said, no, what's going on here? Okay. I'm done with y'all. But anyways, so Trip is like, how's Allie? And they tell her she's good. He's a hero, he's a real life hero. And Ava said, are you really with back with us? Y'all, those days are like, I'm not finna hold y'all longer for this. Yeah, that's why I couldn't even rate it today. Scale of 1 to 10, I don't know. Because when Trip was dying, it was a solid 9. But the way Bo just touched his head and brought him back, I said, y'all done brought this down to about a 7 because this is ridiculousness. But that's Days of Our Lives, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.